Okay, so today I wanted to share another framework that I use when I think about building FERMAT. And honestly, I think it's a useful framework for anybody who wants to build a great company. And it's how do you take inspiration from other great companies and apply it to your context? And so I'm going to purposely, and this is a little cheeky, but I'm going to purposely use MetaAds, which, by the way, is a true source of inspiration for us because I think it's the single best small business uh, piece of technology that has ever been built on the internet, which I will talk about in a second. But I'll use MetaAds as a source of inspiration. We have multiple other companies from which we take inspiration, like Booking.com, Shopify, Klaviyo. There's a number of great companies from which we take inspiration on multiple dimensions that I'm happy to talk about in future Whiteboard Wednesdays if it's helpful. But I'm going to use this as a scaffolding for how we talk about some of the aspects of FERMAT. In part because one of the things that we starting to say a lot is create funnels the same way you create ads, right? And so part of what inspired that is like MetaAds is one of the greatest platforms ever built. And there are a few characteristics of the MetaAds platform that is really exceptional. So the first one is they have a data advantage that is relevant. And that data advantage that's relevant is basically one of who interacts with whom and what do they like on a person basis that is logged in on every device that you own, right? So unlike TikTok, for example, where most people who use TikTok are only doing it on their phone, you're actually logged in on Facebook on your desktop and you're logged into Instagram and Facebook on your phone, right? And so they have a cross-device graph, which is a sort of undervalued aspect of their data advantage. So anyways, they have a data advantage. The second thing is that they have very we can debate this all day, but easy to use UI, right? For how sophisticated of an outcome you can drive, the UI is actually very easy to use, right? And then the third one, which I think is important, is that you actually have a system that learns as it goes, right? And it's a very effective learning system. Uh, and so this is obviously famously the thing people get irritated with is the learning phase that you have to be able to get through in order for your ads to perform, right? But that's actually a big advantage of the system that you can actually learn because adaptive systems always perform better than static systems, right? So when I think about creating a funnel for the post-click experience, the same way you can create ads across these three dimensions of things that are valuable, what I think about is okay, what is the data advantage that we can develop for FERMAT, right? And that is basically an understanding of all consumer interactions post-click. And that understanding is actually driven from every aspect because FERMAT is a full funnel. It's from everything that the consumer interacts with once they click all the way through to purchase. And so we now have we're fortunate now, we have millions of consumers interacting with our experiences and sort of teaching us what are the journeys that they want to be on for what type of outcome. Easy to use. So this one is, simple to say, hard to implement. So an easy to use UI means we want to be able to make it such that when you log into the system, you can actually decide what you're trying to accomplish and then own the outcome from front to end. Just like you would with MetaAds, right? You can configure what the goal is. You can say how you want to participate in the auction, and so we want to enable you to be able to own the whole thing front to end on an outcome basis, right? And then be able to report on that. And then the last piece is that it's a learning system. And this one, again, simple to say, extremely difficult to implement. But one of the great characteristics of MetaAds is that because they give you constraints on what you can do and how you can place the ads and where you can place them, they can then decide for any given ad how they populate it across different properties in order to get your outcome and who to show it to. So actually, what they have done is created a system of rails that is so well orchestrated that you can put in a small set. When I say small set, I mean like a small number of variations in terms of the creative that you want to put in. And Meta knows how to use that across many different potential placements. And so the thing that I think is very interesting for us in that context is that we need to similarly be able to have the right system of rails and then use the data, right? So these two feed off of each other in order to drive a learning system for everything that happens after you click, right? And so this will then sort of like get us to the place where you can, create funnels the same way you create ads, and is one of the ways in which, based on the things that Meta is exceptional at, we draw inspiration from in order to be exceptional for the outcomes that we're trying to drive. And so I encourage you all to think about, for your own companies, who are you drawing inspiration from in order to be great? What are the things that they are truly uniquely great at? And therefore, what is the analogy for you in terms of what you need to do for your business? All right, I'll see you in the next one.